Yeah, baby, it's Troy Casey, certified health nut. In an effort to bring you more fun, freedom, and phenomenon, it's Troy Casey, certified health nut, reporting live from planet Earth, super psycho chicken of cyberspace, your leader. All right, guys, we're in Sayulita, Mexico. This week, we just finished a retreat, a bioculture retreat, biocultureretreats.com. And so this is a creation of Dakota and Christian, and they invited me, and I get invited to a lot of stuff, and last couple of years I've been focused on a few other things and my children, and I like to stay grounded, but they got me down here, and it was definitely exceeded my expectations. I really dig what they're doing. And so I had a good time. I shot a lot of content. There was brands down here. There were brand ambassadors. There were high level, you curated the program really well, right? Not only do you guys have good numbers on Instagram as far as influence and your brand, but also the people that you brought down. And it's not just this whole idea of influencer, it's aligned with my values and really here to transform the consciousness of the planet. My mission, as always, is to get the world healthy and to change all systems. My vision is clean air, water, soil, and equitable systems for all mankind. What I witnessed in clean air, water, soil, and equitable systems for all mankind in my lifetime. So I'm here to get it done now. And what I witnessed in the bioculture retreats, this retreat this weekend, was that there was a whole bunch of fit, healthy, vibrant, bright-eyed, sober, muscular, fertile, virile human beings, right? They were alive. Look alive, baby. Stay alive. So, Dakota and Christian, thanks for coming on the Certified Health Nut Show today. So tell us what gave you the impetus to create this event.
All right, start us off, Dakota. Yeah, man. Well, it all came from a peyote ceremony, actually. So I've been working with creators for a while now, brands, been doing retreats for like 5 or 6 years. And dude, after the peyote ceremony, I thought I was fucking going crazy for a week and a half. I'm not even kidding. I was just walking back and forth my penthouse apartment at the time, from patio to patio, just like jotting down ideas, like just a little bit in my head. Like I just felt like something was like behind me, like creeping up on me. Long story short, it was just like God trying to tell me like put all the things I was doing together in one package. So I just quit doing anything virtual wise, working with any creator online. So if they wanted to work with me in a brand or whatever, they would have to come to the retreat. A lot of them are our friends, so it's super easy. But then you just add that into the retreats. So like these guests that came, they got to hang out with some of their favorite wellness creators, right? Half the crew at this retreat knew you. And like once they seen you on the page, they're like, "What the fuck? Troy's coming!" I'm like, "What the hell? I already know Christian, Dakota. I've been following him for years." Blah, blah, blah. It's just like it creates this community effect. So not only do my retreat guests get to benefit off of the talents coming in for these retreats, but the talents get to benefit because we bring the brand owners, the brand founders, as retreat guests. So everyone gets to meet each other in person, actually like move 10 times quicker, whether that's like making deals, making friendships, or just like freaking hanging out, getting healthy.
Or making content. I have made 10 to 15 hours of content since I've been here, and I wanted to revamp my podcast and have really solid guests and good information for people, and that exceeded my expectations. So thank you so much. So continue. You had a peyote vision, and you wanted to follow up. You said you were walking in your penthouse. Where were you living at the time?
Right here in Midtown. I can see the place from here. Just long story short, I was in this loop for like 45 minutes in the peyote ceremony, like not feeling good, purging for like 4 or 5 hours, right? And I was just watching the coals. The fire like died out at one point, and then the Americana came by and just started waving, right? And then poof, this big fire. Like I was like, what the hell? But I didn't know what that meant in the ceremony. Not until like a week later did I know what that meant. But it was like all those coals with that energy, right? Like just ready. It was just like potential, pure potential. And then as soon as it just got a little bit of wind, you change the environment just a little bit, with just a little bit of wind in this case, and then boom, the flame is there. I'm like, there is a flame. I don't know where it is, but there's a flame in my life that I'm just not blowing on it perfectly. But the coals are ready. You know what I mean? So the coals are ready. In this instance, it was just knowing a lot of guys like Christian, all these awesome creators in the health and wellness field, biohacking, whatever you want to call it, mostly sovereignty. And yeah, bringing those to the retreats, like that was the potential. And I just need to fucking use my mouth more. So I started hopping on more voice messages, just started talking to people, like being a real hard, like going real agent mode, just being on the phone all the time, and just setting up these retreats, man. Like that was the me blowing the coals, you know what I mean? And then the bioculture's the fucking flame that came.
Yeah.
So you say sovereignty. So I saw a lot of fitness down here. People were fit, literally fit, not on steroids, holistically healthy. Skin was popping, eyes were popping, deltoids were popping. Like people are svelte and they're fit. So you have the fit component in a holistic perspective, but you're also talking about sovereignty, which is freedom and dominion over yourself. So what inspired you for what would you call that? A primary tenant, a value. So what inspired you for that? What has taken you in your journey for freedom and sovereignty?
2020. Like I'm sure, like you've been around longer
Best
than
time of
us.
our lives, right?
Yeah,
In
dude.
many ways.
I was going fucking ballistic, man. Whether that's like losing a bunch of followers, talking shit about the masks, the mandates, whatever it was, all the control, all the tyranny going on. And from then, I was just like, I knew I was creating content at the time, but I got vulnerable. I didn't know all the money I was making was in person, so I couldn't teach anywhere because I wasn't vaxxed. All my private clients dropped because I wasn't vaxxed. Like, and then I started traveling Mexico. So sovereignty.
You were teaching yoga at the time, or?
Yeah, like pretty much full time yoga instructor. And then I just started making yoga content. That's how I started my content journey. But dude, I just realized I wasn't free. Like I was like, I had golden, not even golden chains, but like silver chains, just like hooking me up to a physical location. So that was the main thing. I was like, sovereignty will be the number one of everything. So by the time bioculture started, I knew I was into the creators who were about sovereignty, freedom, Bitcoin, getting that citadel, living on a homestead, all those types of living, those archetypes. And yeah, that's exactly the people we attract to bioculture. Everybody's just drinking fucking raw milk, wanting a free life, wanting to have just general freedom, but also financial freedom, like all the freedoms.
Well, I think freedom, especially if you want to be healthy. And Dakota, he was talking about yoga instructor. He can actually do one-handed handstands. It's pretty impressive, which is a high level. And I know you wrestled in school as well, and so he's extremely fit. And what goes hand in hand with the sovereignty, with that level of fitness, is food.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you had to figure that out as well, and then source your food properly as well, which is a big part of this retreat. When you come on this retreat, he's got all the chefs, the raw milk, the grass-fed meats, etc. Everything's organic, and so that was another great thing where I didn't have to think about anything. There's hibiscus tea and
best coffee in the world.
Pineapple, and then you had a great brand sponsor for the Kaizen coffee, which had not only the mushrooms and the raw milk, so it was nourishment. There was only 90 grams of caffeine, and I'm off caffeine because I don't like the jitteries, but I actually was drinking a lot of the coffee, and I felt zero jitters. There was so much nutrition in that. So you baked it all into the curriculum. I really felt amazing. Not only did we have all the nature, groundedness, high oxygen content being in the jungle. I felt amazing. Like all the bases were covered as far as holistic health and that level of freedom and sovereignty. So thank you for that, and thank you for going through that. And so, Christian, how did you get involved with Dakota?
Right. Well, about 5 years ago, I started coaching, and so that was one thing that really catalyzed my movement towards holistic health, fitness, all these different facets of natural living. That goes into a deep story of what inspired me to go down that line, but ultimately that led me into making content online. So really inspired to speak the truth to sovereignty. All during COVID, I was speaking up on my values and not feeling fear tactics overwhelm me, and this led me into building a huge network online. I mean, I connected with you many years ago, 6 years ago or so. This led into many other divots as well over the years. I mean, even Denny, we met at the retreat. Kyle, these are guys that I've connected over the past year. And so really cool experience having that. And just about 2 to 3 years ago, I began having these conversations with individuals saying like, hey, I want to meet you in person. Like, do you have any retreats? I kept getting these DMs regarding this. And I was like, give me a year, give me 2 years. I just kept telling people that. Like right now I have these other things. I'm growing in business, in my personal life. Give me a couple years, I'll make this happen. Funny enough, I met Dakota in Costa Rica, the beautiful land of Costa Rica around Dominical. Went to a retreat for Shane and Michaela. You might know her. She's the one who makes a lot of cool sovereign health and wellness content as well. She's an acrobatic one who does backflips and like shoots the arrows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
she's
Yeah.
really hip and cool.
I like her.
Good friend of ours. Good friend of ours. So I met Dakota out there at the time, and we just hit it off. It was a great conversation. We got to really feel our energies out, and that was back in like August of 2023. Fast forward a bit more, and I had black mold exposure early this year, which I was sitting in and marinating in for about 8 months plus. Didn't know what was going on. I know we all have relatability with that. Not fun.
Brain fog.
Yeah, major brain fog. Waking up super sore all the time without training. Just having like tight lungs. Just certain things that are not a part of my normal orchestration as a human. I'm just like usually vital. So this led me into traveling again once more to Costa Rica right around February time. And then I had this gap of like, okay, right before that, deciding on like, I got to get out of this home. I just found out about the mold exposure, but I'm traveling to Costa Rica for a month. So I'm like, okay, 2 weeks before Costa Rica, I'm like, what do I do? I had this meditation with myself. I actually took a good 2+ grams of mushrooms, went on a long walk, left my phone at home, and just it started pouring down rain on me. It was crazy. And I was just like wearing a rain jacket. I was just sitting in the rain. I actually had many moments of just cathartic crying, just like, what do I do? I felt so overwhelmed emotionally, spiritually, physically, with the mold, with all these things going on with my family's health. All these things were just colliding at once. But in that moment, I had this serene like epiphany where I was like, what do I do? Where do I move? I can live anywhere in the world, but I'm living in, I didn't even preface this, I'm living in small town Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas. All of a sudden I had this download of Dakota's face for some reason. I'm like, Dakota, I wasn't really close with him at all. I met him for 7 days at a retreat. And so I reached out to him on WhatsApp, something along those lines, Instagram I think it was at first, and all of a sudden I'm just talking to him like, hey, how's Sayulita? I know you mentioned it, or where are you at? Just one thing led to the next, and I was able to, in 2 weeks before Costa Rica, sell almost all my stuff and purge almost all my stuff on Facebook Marketplace, throwing it out. 2 weeks before Costa Rica, I was on like action orientation mode because right after Costa Rica, I'd be moving out, and because I already worked out the deal with the lease management. So I had about a week or two after Costa Rica traveling to get everything out. So I was like, I got to get this out before I travel to Costa Rica for a month. So I purged it all. It was such an action-oriented thing, but a lot of stress. You're going through shit. You're throwing things out that you're sentimental and connected to, clothes. And then early April, here I am. I'm in Sayulita. And then as that transcribed, Dakota was above me 2 floors. So he's up in the penthouse right after he's pacing back and forth 6 months prior, figuring out what to do. And I'm underneath him on the bottom floor, a previous unit he was in. And at that very moment, I knew I was in the right place. I was like, everything I've ever wanted is in this exact moment. I didn't have to force that situation. I've never been to Sayulita. I took the leap. I trusted it all out. It was all intuition. I'm going up in stairs with him basically every day, making like really great coffee with him. We're chatting all the time. We're in our organic underwear tanning outside. Like it's just a life, man. We're just like making content together. It was just amazing, back to back for weeks and weeks and months on end. And here we are now, fast forward, where I've attended these retreats prior as more of a talent and guest, and I've seen how it's all been situated 4 retreats later. And I'm like, I'm all in, man. Let's do this. Like, I'm all in on this. And so now I partnered up with him, and we're expanding like crazy. We're going to be going to California to finish up some little business stuff to iron some things out, and yeah, ready to launch this thing. Full launch pad right now, and that's how it all unfolded. Just a genuine connection.
Yeah, it was presented to me by Sam, the Chi man, and he's like, yeah, there's something special that's going on. I'm going to go down there, and they're doing another one in Playa and Tulum, and I think you should come down. He kept on inviting me, so it was like a resonant kind of, he got the call, and then he called me, and then of course I know you guys, and then we got on a call, and it just sounded right. And you never know how it's going to work out until you go down here. So I had a great experience. So let's go back a little bit, Dakota. You know, what are your intentions, or how are you developing? Because you've done a few of them now, and they're really starting to emerge naturally, right, organically. What are your general intentions around here? So you've got influencers and talent, and you have brands, and then you have participants, people that want to change their lives, get healthier, maybe hang out with some of their favorite influencers or personalities. So what is your general intention, and what template are you working with now? like, let's talk to the audience out there, and maybe they want to come. Who are they?
Yeah, well, it actually started out just noticing when I started working with my friends, all these talents, these creators, most of them aren't making much money. Most of them are hosting retreats and aren't making money, or they're losing, or they're not able to host retreats. So at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring them in house because I was helping them with brand deals and stuff like that, and partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, if I just bring the brands and the owners of the brands here in person, because I knew a lot of them, and then bring a lot of my friends, all these creators in person, it'll just happen there. And it did happen. Like, whether it's personal deals, like personal retainers, like personal connections with these brands, that was the main focus. And I was just like, okay, this would be a big bonus for all the guests because now they get to hang, regular guests as just a paying guest at a regular retreat. You're just around such a high level group of people.
So they're going to learn.
Yeah, they learn a lot more. Like, just a regular retreat, like, let's be real, most retreats are like 6 to 10 people. Like a 10-person retreat's a big retreat.
And 6 to 10K a lot of times.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Or even more with some of these, business masterminds or Lambo Bro masterminds. I've seen that they're a big ticket item, and what value is it? I mean, obviously we need money in the world to survive, but if it's all just a big Airbnb shell game and it's part of this.
Clout or something.
Well, it's part of the same thing that's creating all of our demise. It's not, to me, it's not that valuable. And I did know that there was a guest here, and they had a situation that happened with their body, and I took the person aside and I said, structurally, at your age, you may want to look at a couple of things, and I think I'm not sure if that person was here to get, health knowledge. However, I gave her a nice confrontation because, structurally, the situation was a bit of a calamity, and I think we all can do better, and we want that, strong vitality inside of us. We don't want to be a walking potential health issue. And so I know that person got some level of serious value, and so anyways, go ahead.
Having people like you around, though, to drill in that point for them, that's like everything. So that being around, just being raised at higher level. But what I've realized in these past retreats, this was a 6th retreat, and we have our 7th one starting in like a week. So with that being said, it's just changed to like, holy shit, we have this big fucking machine here, and all these creators that are hitting us up wanting to come, and these brands that wanted to be involved. A lot of guests wanted to be involved more than anything. It's like, okay, we're really like changing the game with like how we're creating content. Like, we're really pushing the page. So I brought up in the opening ceremony of this retreat, it's like, there's still trillions of dollars being poured into fucking Pepsi ads, Coca-Cola ads, like all these pure poison companies, like just being fucking bombarded into people's faces still. So it's like, we need to be on the other side of the ship, bombard them with the good content. You know what I mean?
And I'm friends with Ian Clark of Activation Products up in Canada. Big shout out to him. He had leukemia and just like he was dying and obese, and the guy looks like a spring chicken now, 20 years later, and he's got some great products, but his research shows that there's billions and billions of dollars in the wellness industry.
Oh, yeah.
And if we get, I think he said a small percentage, like 80 million people or something, spending $10 a day on legitimate, nutrients. I forget what it was, but he crunched the numbers, and that was just billions of dollars. That's his projection for his company. And so there is a lot of cash flow for that. There's a strong need for it. The Trump and the RFK are running on Make America Healthy Again, chronic childhood disease. The food is poisoned. You go to Italy, you eat pizza, pasta, and ice cream, and you lose weight. Like, this has become, I've been talking about this for years, and it's like, oh, what are you, conspiracy theorist? You're not a doctor, you're not a scientist, wear your sunscreen type of thing. And now people are waking up to this. You got Santa Cruz Medicinals and Kyle at the Clean Kitchen, reading ingredients. Like, people are aware. Food Babe's been talking about this for 2 decades. Like, people are aware now, and the solutions are out there. So the dollars are there as we transition from, basically commercial propaganda poison into, this great awakening that we're headed to. So I think I see this as a huge catalyst.
What's really cool is what you brought up earlier, Troy, is like, wow, there's so many little facets and things that are coming into place at bioculture that you experience, like the coffee you were mentioning, okay, it has like this little effect on that, and it's just a cascading effect, all these things that we're intertwining. We really try our best to like intertwine as much activity and even just subtle things that really give people a sense of like, wow, that's really cool, even if it's so small. And this could be something like the giveaway we had, having a giveaway for extra retreats, we pulled a raffle, or it could be something simple like having the squirt gun fight or the relay race. Where your pants are falling off or your Speedo's falling off.
Cue the B-roll.
We have great.
Woo!
Cue the B-roll on that. Where he's jumping in the water and his American flag Speedo. Like these little candid moments, man. I mean, that's where it goes back to too with retreats.
Well,
we can continue.
I just want to say that you had raw milk, you had clean food, and then you had people that were eating clean food,
Right.
and it showed in their tissues. You also had a pregnant woman that discovered the business of birthing, and I had a great podcast with her, and we talked about C-sections, we talked about the food, we talked about going into hospitals, all this level of awareness, and these other people that had paid serious attention to their own health. I mean, especially having a pregnant, vital, virile, fertile, human being. And if you look at sperm counts and fertility right now, they're plummeting. Testosterone, and you see males all with their shoulders and their spine erect, like good posture. Like the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
You're feeding them good food, they're eating good food, they're looking healthy, they're looking vital, and people out on the internet, they want this, and they don't really know where to get it. And you have to drill the basics down to bedrock. I always give the example of the martial arts master. He teaches punch, block, kick, and sometimes the student is like, I don't want to kick again. But that's the drill. You drill into that, and you become a black belt because your white belt gets dirty because you practice over years and years and years. And being around people that are practicing that, it rubs off. And so I think you're providing an incredible atmosphere because results never lie. And what we see on the internet is with the biohacking and the gadgets, the gimmicks, and the drugs, and they're not telling you that they're on drugs, TRT, peptides, all these synthetics. And so it looks good on social media, but in person or the real truth about it, it's not holistic, it's not sustainable, it's not long term, it doesn't have the same glow to the skin, the pop to the eyes, etc. So you're providing an atmosphere of results ultimately, which rubs off on people.
You just explained how I came up with the name bioculture. It's like biohacking. This is our biohacking culture. Like
Bioharmonizing,
Yeah, bioharmonizing, to be honest. Like, because hacking, Dave Asprey term, whatever. But, these tech bros, these, red light bros, these gadget gimmicks, or like,
Fitbits.
Like, get the fuck on the ground, dude. Be on the sun. Engage your fascia. Eat real food. Like, that's biohacking, bioharmonizing.
And how about the mirror? Like you want to know your blood test and your genetic test? Look in the fucking mirror.
Yeah.
Whatever your ideas are coalescing inside of your body, get naked.
Yeah, what's your shorts size, your waist size,
Do you like what you see? Can you actually look at yourself in the eye?
Your tongue, your eyes, all these different things we have awareness from,
I love looking at myself naked. Check out the line, be like, damn, that tan line's too much right now. You need it.
It's OG Mudbone's brother.
You need to be tanning critiquing more. That's the only critiques I give myself.
Oh yeah.
What we bring out here is the sense of rewilding. It's getting back in nature. It's this more primal, just like having fun, being goofy, being playful. This is all within all of our cores, and so I think many people are just dried out. It's the monotony they're experiencing, the mundane. Mostly in the States. I mean, we have some UKers come down too. It's all over the world. People
being
are
lied
stuck.
to, being lied to, inverted world, inverted propaganda.
And that's why it's a retreat, but it's like the true thing is like, how can we make this a long-term effect for people? And I know everyone that attended this retreat will say that they had great dividends from this and attending it. Like, absolutely incredible when it comes to like the long term of their content strategy as well, and people getting inspired to do content. That's what I love the most is guests that attend, and they're like,
that's a big thing that's coming up
huge.
more and more.
We're spreading the fire by doing that.
More people are starting to create this content that we're creating, so that's like, we can keep doing that. Like, just imagine how many more health and wellness content creators, like, on the good side of content creation, not the gimmicky side of, getting back to real health, real sovereignty. That's like something I didn't expect, but it's happening, like, fast.
Well, and that's the vision I had in the Amazon 20 years ago. I'm here to change the world. And Steve Jobs wanted to put a handheld computer in every man's hand. And that's what's happening right now. And so, and I've already seen the vision, we make it. And you can't really fake holistic results. And so,
You can try to do like Brian Johnson level stuff with the don't die.
yeah, but most people
But
are
calling him out. They know.
he looks like a ghost.
Yeah, he's a vampire. Look, you can't hide that.
You can try, is my point,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
trying real hard.
It looks a little weird. I mean,
Super
A little,
weird,
yeah,
too.
not a little, Troy. You know that.
I mean, whatever. I mean, he's friends with the knees over toes guy, so I'll give him credit there. Because I like knees over the toes.
He's doing his sissy squats.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, so what's in it for brands? What's in it for participants? And what's in it for influencers? I will say, as an influencer, I came down there. You had Jack and Nikki, and they were really cool on the branding of storytelling. We talked about authenticity. We're actually very interested in building our own branding online course, something very accessible for people on authenticity. And I got a lot out of that, especially with the storytelling and how important it is to be vulnerable, not just show your highlight reel, have solutions for people, tell about your hero's journey. I got a lot out of it. So you guys had you had marketing built into this. This is a true mastermind, a very well-rounded. So what can people expect? What are the 3 or 4 archetypes that you're working with participants and influencers, etc.?
So the big one, you started out with brands. Like, something I didn't realize when I was doing this, I was like, yeah, bring the brands in person. Like, let them meet their actual affiliate marketers. Like, let them form that connection, right? But I realized bringing these brands, they get the best ROI out of anything because they get to come. It's like corporate wellness. Like, so they get to bring team members. We got a lot of people doing the therapeutic dose package. They're bringing up to 4 team members for free. They're bringing, so that's worth their money right away. Most of them come and they're just like ready to sponsor again already, just because they're there and seeing what we got going on, the people they're around. But then you give them the package of actually delivering for them post-wise with the creators that are there. So the brands, they get a new style of corporate wellness. They get tons of posts. So yeah, the brands get to benefit the most. They get all the ad content they want. They get all the content they need from the retreat. It's all there. So the brands arguably get the best bang for their buck. And then behind that, just the talents and the content creators and the guests. It's just all the same. Like, the content creators, they just come and post some content for the brand sponsors or for Bioculture, and they get a whole vacation for free and a networking event like no other, right? And then the guests, they get the same thing. So they're paying cash money to come to an event, which most people just go to a regular retreat, and they retreat from their life. Like, they're usually not moving forward too much, like professionally and all that stuff. It's usually just personal growth. Here, we got the personal growth. They're just retreating from people who aren't like-minded. That's the only thing where they're retreating from. Other than that, they're moving forward in business. They're moving forward in networking. Like, it's not like, oh, I just took a vacation. Like, now it's back to the job. It's like, no, I just took a vacation. It was fucking dope. Now my network is bigger, and now I'm going back to my job that I'm probably going to quit soon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably quitting that job.
The epiphanies that roll up.
Yeah, we got buses in the background. It's all good. Fuck it.
You don't. I don't know how good these things work, but
It might pick up a little bit. It doesn't matter.
That's pretty
We're
loud.
in Mexico. There's always construction. There's dogs.
Okay, well, the one thing I wanted to say on that was if a team brand that maybe has a little bit deeper pockets, they've raised some capital, they want to get the promotion part down, so they bring their team down here. What I've seen with a lot of creators is their team isn't always as holistic healthy. I actually am very blessed because the people that I attract and the people that ended up on my team, they're very interested in health, and a lot of people on my team are Czech practitioners, but I've also witnessed other people's teams, and it doesn't always work out that way. And even if I have an editor, a cameraman, etc., I'm here to get everyone healthy. And so I think that's a great opportunity if you are a brand and you have people in the office, especially as an owner, to bring your team down here and get everybody tuned up. And really, instead of it being a job, like, this is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is the future of humanity, to create egalitarian systems so everyone's vibrant, so we can all vibe. Not, oh, you have natural resources over there underneath your earth? Let me kill your women and children and push you off the land and take it out. Or make you a slave and have you take it out, and then we bring it back to our country. Like, that's kind of the way the world is. Like, no, let's create vibrant world for everyone where we can have food, shelter, fire, and water. Those are the 4 human needs. Everything else is a want or plastic trinkets from China. And so if we could focus on those and providing those for everyone, and shelter, we can do 3D printing right now, and we can make things that are mold resistant, etc. Like, why don't we bring that technology? Why don't we do the feel-good technology? And that's what biocultures is to me. It's feel-good technology. Until we can get back to the real sovereignty, which is beyond the fake fiat currency money, beyond this fake paper legalese. That's not the law. The law is the law of the land. And I currently am the law. I am the living man. The land, the air, and the water. Right? That is the law. And don't tread on me is ultimately the only law. Right? My rights end where your rights begin. Right? So don't tread on me. Don't block anyone's forward movement. Instead of this reams of legalese that people have to fight through. And same thing can be said with the medical industry. Like, everything's a mystery. No, it's not. We're children of God. We're all-knowing, self-healing mechanisms. When we get out of the way, the power that created us is the power that can heal us. And we align with natural principles, aka biomimicry. Life creates conditions conducive for life. Anyways, enough about my philosophy. We're here to talk to the OG Mudbones.
That's his way of rickrolling us by wording it, because we can just visualize it like Dan.
Yes,
So what are your parting words for everyone out there? What's your message, your final message?
Final message. Main thing for me is whenever I started this whole thing, I had to give up everything. So before starting bioculture, me as a talent, a content creator, like whether it's my personal brand, I gave up everything to push it to this thing. So long story short, just like go all in, because usually if we're not going all in the things that we know we need to do, you're not going to make it happen. You're going to go slow. You're not going to experience any exponential growth. Like, you have to put every cell of your body into something before, if it's going to flourish. Like, I know, like, you wouldn't have been sold on this mission. Like, of course you got to see it and you feel it and you see it, but you're seeing and feeling it because I put all my soul into it. Like, if I was like half-assing bioculture, none of my friends have been like gung-ho, like, oh yeah, life, what do you need? How can I be a part of it? Like, I get those questions literally every day. Everyone at this retreat, like, so many people want to be a part of it, whether it's co-hosting, just coming back. All of our talents come back. Guests coming back, brands are repeat sponsors. Like, they feel that. They know. Like, when you're at the retreat and you're doing something, like, hey, do you need this, blah, 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 and I go and do it right away, and they come back 20 minutes later with an edit. They're like, you just did that? I'm like, yeah. Like,
oh, we create content like that down here.
So loops of feedback, like, you have to go all in on things. So that'd be my words of encouragement for people trying a new venture, because this venture really cost me all my savings. Like, I was making no money for 8 months. I went from 10 plus K months to 0 K months and spending money. You know, I gotta live too. So I just watched my stock portfolio go down. Like, I was broke just 4 months ago. Just 4 months ago, I had $2,000 in my bank account.
So go all in.
Went all in. Yeah.
I did that when I got here. I put my ego aside and let Christian kick me in the ribs when we did the MMA.
Yeah.
I like that you brought the fighting and
we're gonna do that more.
Yeah,
that was a good
we're gonna have
time.
more of that. Matt Brown we had come. That was an amazing experience.
At least one training session every retreat.
Yeah, get some activity, movement.
UFC fighter. I mean, it's cool to be punched in the face or kicked in the ribs.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable. And then Sedona, she actually really wanted to kick my ass, and I was like, all right, let's go for a round. I didn't want to chuck her on the ground, but you know.
Yeah, you kind of did.
But you see people like Matt Brown. He's number 2 right now in most knockouts. I think it was like 19 knockouts he has in UFC.
Yeah, one of the tops.
Yeah, record holder in UFC, and he wanted to come down. He hit me up a few times. He would see these retreats, see the content, and get FOMO. He's like, man, okay, I'm making it happen now. And then he was going to come in November, but then he's seen one of the retreats, and he's like, no, I'm going to come in October. What's your October dates?
Squeezed it in, made it happen.
Down.
Taking action, though. That's a big part of everything in our ethos is taking action. Like,
they see it, they smell it.
Yeah, and I'll add on to that, just like the 2 points is like trusting others, trusting yourself, trusting the vision, and crystallizing that as clear as possible with all the sensations. Like, we know what the future holds in the next year to 2 years. There's no games right now. We have it very clear. And that combines with the collective consciousness of truly leveraging the community effect. Going back to this is, Dakota can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. How do we get everyone to come together and put these force fields going in that direction? Because I've been a solopreneur my whole life, and I've come to this point where I'm like, okay, this is something that just came into my aura. Am I going to let this slide and go through my fingertips like sand, or am I going to actually take action on this? That's just where it's like having this relationship cultivation, all these interactions here, and this vortex of cellulita. It's like, let's leverage this. Let's go all out. So it goes out with the all out, the trust, the community effect. Like, those are some big takeaways. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of retreats over the years, put on a lot of retreats, mostly men retreats, so I did like the co-ed aspect. And I do also like the holistic aspect, because I've seen in the world, my observation has been that most health people aren't fit, most fit people aren't healthy, and most spiritual people aren't healthy or fit. And so it was nice to see a well-rounded situation down here at this retreat, and people moving towards that, gaining more knowledge, upping their energy as well. I gained an incredible amount of knowledge, even though I've been here for I've been making content for over 20 years. I've been in front of the camera for 35 years. I upped my game around content, storytelling, because you always need a new injection, right? It's the same thing with training. And of course you had Sam, the Chi Man here, and you know, it's always learning to understand, like, okay, do I need high intensity or do I need low intensity? Do I need working out or do I need working in? So and we had the MMA, right? We had Matt Brown, UFC fighter here, and then you had Sam, the Chi Man. And so it was the balanced element. And then you taught a great yoga class as well. I got a lot out of a handstand class. And so it was well-rounded, lots of good. You didn't even have to teach about food. You just gave us the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
That's teaching enough right there, direct deposit.
And then you're exemplifying what it looks like to eat pure food all the time.
Have you ever been to a retreat like that?
No.
Our kitchen crew, they're like, well, what meals do you want? What meals do you want? I'm like, no. We do single meals here. We only do
single ingredients.
And they're like, how do we plate it? I'm like, we don't plate here. We let them plate. So single food, so it's beef is here. Eggs are right here. Your veggies are right here. Your
no
fruit,
seed oils, all good fats,
nothing.
all like amazing fruit.
Whole foods, guacamole,
So
abundanza.
It's grab and go style, buffet style, and you eat what you want, like individual one food things. There's no cooking, there's no like baking, there's no mixing, like other than a few mixed vegetables, mixed fruit. But other than that, like nothing gets mixed, and it's a big rule for our kitchen crew.
Options for raw if you want it, you know, we had that.
Yeah.
You know.
Most people don't experience that. They come to a fucking retreat and they get a plate given to them, and they're like, okay, I only like half of this. Can I have more eggs, please? And you gotta wait, like, no.
No gluten, no pasteurized dairy.
Exactly.
You know.
We had some sourdough bread. That's of course, because people love their sourdough bread.
The best.
Well, the thing is I don't eat bread
But you
almost
right?
anywhere.
How'd you feel with that?
And you guys said it was sourdough, and you said you liked it. And I'll try things because I'm off bread like 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm really clear on that whole gluten piece for myself. And I had 3 or 4 pieces of that French toast sourdough, and I had no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah. Loaded up, dollop it, and all the passion fruit. Oh man, so good.
Well, thank you guys for putting on such a great show. Thank you for holding the bar high on the internet in the sea of a lot of bullshit, and attracting the who's who of holistic health, organic brands, organic cotton clothing, real deal stuff, sunscreen that doesn't have chemicals in it, these types of things, holistic men, holistic women, good fitness trainers, good branding, good teaching on business as well. Thank you for holding the bar high, and I look forward to coming back to more.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.